So I'm going to show you guys the AllProWebTools Provider system. So right now I am logged in as a provider, which means I can deploy new clients and log in and work with clients. So first thing I'm going to show you is how to deploy a new client and set up a new person with AllProWebTools. So I'm going to add a contact. I'll just put in a name real quick. So once I've created a contact, since I'm a provider, over to the right here, I have a provider control panel. And this contact does not have AllProWebTools, so I can click on deploy and create a new AllProWebTools console for him. I can select the badge that I want to be working with him as. If I want to work as a web developer or for customer retention, I'm going to choose web development. And here I can create a subdomain for him. So let's name it Eugene. And I can either make it a subdomain of greatmockup.com or of myallprowebtools.com. Under here, I can select who to charge, whether to charge the client or charge myself. And down here, I can even select which of my employees will have access to log in the future. So right now, I'm going to allow my other user employee to be able to log into Eugene's new AllProWebTools. If I click Save, it's going to start deploying.
And while it's deploying, I'll explain that normally the installation of a new AllProWebTools account is $195. And by using this system, you're able to bypass that $195 fee. Now that means that this provider has the option of charging that $195 to their customer, or charging some kind of a discounted rate like 25% off, 50% off, or they can bundle it into an existing service package that they offer. So for a web developer, they might have an ongoing maintenance package, and they could just bundle that into that. And then as John showed, the monthly fees will still be charged as normal, but you have the choice of charging those either directly to the client or the provider can pay for them themselves.
So now that it's finished, it's going to show me the link. I can click on here and go directly to the website of the new install that I made. You can see they have the default website. I'll go back here and exit out of this. So now you can see that the provider panel has changed. It actually shows my badge, which does not have a picture yet, and I'll show you how to change that later. It shows me what version they have and what server they're working off of. Most importantly, there's this login button. So I can go directly to Eugene's contact page and simply click on login. And I can log in directly to Eugene's AllProWebTools. And I can do anything I need to or want to in his AllProWebTools in order to help Eugene as his provider. If somebody already has AllProWebTools, you can still become their provider. You just don't deploy their installation. I'm going to go back to my provider. And here I'm going to show you, if you go down to the provider and click on certifications, it will show me all the possible certifications I could get. Up here, you'll see that I need to get 3 active clients to actually start taking the tests and get certified as an expert. Right now, I only have 1 client, but I need 2 more to get to the 3. To get closer to that 3, what I can do is, for instance, if somebody wants to work with me as their customer retention provider, I can click on this Get Provider Code under Customer Retention. And it will show me the code that I need to give to that customer. So I can take this code, and I'll have to send it to the customer. I can either call them on the phone, or if I talk to them through email. So now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to be logged in as a client. So I'm going to be working as a client requesting a provider. As the client, I'm going to go into Settings and go up to Experts/Providers. And right here, it'll ask me if I have an All-Pro provider who isn't a certified expert. I can click on this link, and it will ask me to put in the provider code. And this is the provider code that, as a provider, you will have to give your customer. So if I put in this code and click Save, I'll see that as a client, I have an All-Pro provider pending, is waiting to be ready to work with me. And I can hover over this badge and get more information about that specific provider. So if I go back as the expert, up here, I'll have a notification. I can click on this, and I'll see a notification that I have one new client. So I'll click on that. And it'll bring me to a list of new clients, and I'll click on the new contact. Notice it was automatically added into the CRM.
So it pulls over all of the contacts information, their website, their phone number, their email address, right into your CRM. So you can start taking notes on that lead right away.
And as a provider, I see the provider control panel. And in this panel, I can see that they've asked me to be their customer retention expert. So from here, I can either accept it or cancel. Either way, the client will get an email notification letting them know whether I'm able to work with them or not. So for now, I'm going to click yes. And now I'm able to log in. I have the login button, and I can work with this client just like the last client where I already deployed him.
Another thing to note here on this screen, if they're working with a number of different providers or experts, each of those experts' logos are going to appear right there in the top. So they can see all of the different providers that are working with that. And if you mouse over those logos, it will show you those providers' contact information and their phone number. So if you want to collaborate with those other providers to take care of that client, you have everything right there at your fingertips.
So if I go back, so I'm looking at the client right now. You can see on the client that I have an All-Pro provider hired. And from the same experts provider page, I have two options. For any provider I have, I can remove them at any time if I don't like how they're working with me. And I can click on remove. And it explains right here, removing a provider means that they will no longer be able to get into my console. So as a client, if I don't like what a provider is doing, I can make sure they never are able to log in to my AllProWebTools again. And what I can also do is leave a review. So if I click on here, I can fill out my name. So I can add a rating, 1 through 5, make it 5-star rating. I love this provider. I put in a subject for my review, and I can type in the actual review. And then all I have to do is hit save and save this review. So I'm going to go back here as the expert. I'll show you how to update the badge. If you go under provider and go to my profile, in here I can change the information that shows up on my badge. So I can add my address, add my city, and I can also select an image here. And I can put in a little about me as a little snippet for people who are looking to hire me as their provider. So I updated the image on my profile, and this is the profile that clients will see when they're looking to hire a provider. So I'm going to add one more client. As I showed you, you need to have 3 clients to be able to start getting certified. So all I'm doing is creating a new contact, and I'm going to deploy for them a new install of AllProWebTools. And this time I'm going to make sure that my other user employee does not have the access and will not be able to log in to this particular client.
Business coaches and
marketing people, maybe.
Yeah, totally.
Now that I've deployed my 3rd client, I can go to provider and certifications. because now that I have 3 active clients, I can get certified under any of these possible certifications. So if you notice, it's not just web developers. There are certifications for business experts, for even virtual assistants and bookkeeping and IT support. Let's click on the customer retention. We'll click on the Get Certified Now, and it will take me to this page. This page explains the charge for getting certified. There is a fee to take the certification test. So I'll go ahead and click Charge so that I can take the test.
And that charges your card that's already on file with AllPro.
So right here, it's welcoming me to the test and giving me a brief overview of what this specific test is going to cover. So I can close out of here. And it's a multiple choice test. Up here, I can show that I'm 1 out of 40 questions. So I will take the full test.
Another thing to note is the help button over on the right-hand side of the test.
Yes, if you click on the little help button, the welcome to the test shows up.
Also on some screens, there will be a hint button that will take you to information that will provide the answer for that specific question to help you to pass the test.
Hey, I'm passed. But now that I'm certified, I can see a couple new things. For one, I can see my 5-star rating because I already have 1 review that was given to me when I was a provider. I can click on this review buttons and take a look at all the reviews that were left for me. The next item I can do is I can click on Display My Badge. So I have this nifty little badge logo that says I'm an AllPro expert. And I have a little code snippet here that I can copy and paste and place on my website, my email signature, wherever I want to advertise that I'm an AllPro certified expert. One other thing is if I'm ever need to stop taking on more clients, I can always click pause and pause my listing on the expert lists so that I will no longer be listed when clients are choosing an expert to work with.
So you still get to keep the people you've got right now?
Yes, I get to keep all the clients I have currently, and then I can unpause at any time in order to get more clients when I'm ready to take on more.
Now that you've passed the test, does your badge show up differently?
So now I'm looking as a client to hire an expert. And because I became a certified expert, as a client, when I go to hire somebody, I can see a listing of all the experts who are certified, and I can select. I can even look at the reviews that were left for them, and I'm able to see their profile. And if I like what I see, I can hire this expert. And just like when I added a provider, when I first hire an expert, they are pending until that expert chooses to work with me or not.
All right, great job, John. So let's show them one last thing. As a client, if we click on support, this is where the real value for experts comes into play. This doesn't apply to providers. It's only to certified experts. You notice here in the Help Center, there's a new button that says Talk to an Expert. That's something we're going to be encouraging end users of AllProWebTools to click on to get their assistance when they have questions. So let's go ahead and click on Talk to an Expert. And so the very next thing that happens is we ask them, what is it that you need help with? So let's pull that drop down. And so what that's going to do is give you a list of all the different expert categories and then direct you to work specifically with one of those experts. So that's how we'll be sending leads to experts.
Does it send them an email or a chat, or how does that work?
It's the same process you just saw for hiring an expert. They'll see the whole profile with the phone number, and they can call them directly. And what we're encouraging the experts to do is to offer a little bit of time, maybe 15, 20 minutes for a free consultation, so that the client will get interest in working with them, and then they can click the hire button, and then that'll initiate the same process where the expert can click yes or no, and then they're working together.